house, the Dream, Dr. Dan, and the Mad Hatter going at it this morning. Let's go!
Oh, baby, what is going on, Dream? How you doing today, man?
I'm doing real good, brother. I'm having a good time. Got the New York Knickerbockers to act dead right last night. Had some fun with Ralph Cooper last night. Thanks to Direct Sports Solution, and just ready to kick it with you two.
My man, the evil genius. What is going on, brother?
Yeah, man, I was enjoying watching that Knickerbockers game myself. And hey, we had Bowling Green work out first. We had that money line parlayed with the miracle Green Bay Packers. So hey, we got a little bit of scratch going into this weekend. Trying not to give it all back.
Oh, good for you. So,
but speaking of scratch, man,
talk to me about scratch.
$500 million almost in baseball contracts over the last 2 days.
Yeah, man. Tell me what happened, Dan. So we got Mr. Greinke, and you've got David Price. Got a bunch of catching up to do with the evil genius of Major League Baseball. Just real quick, I know it's a big collegiate slate, but just to touch on those subjects, what's up, man?
Yeah, so I'm perplexed, shocked, exasperated, all those things. The David Price contract it doesn't make sense to me from a Red Sox point of view.
Okay.
It's not like the Red Sox. It's not like he was that one piece to the puzzle that they needed to, be in contention and win a World Series. They have so many holes. So many holes. They play bad defense. Their bullpen will be good next year, obviously, with Kimbrel. But besides him, I never loved Uehara. So it's like your bullpen's still shaky, your defense is shaky. Yeah, you can hit the hell out of the ball.
Yep.
But then you have David Price, who is a terrible playoff pitcher and a bad cold weather pitcher, coming to New England. So the first, 2 months of the season in Boston, it doesn't get above 50. So good luck to the Red Sox with their burden. And also, David Price also has an opt-out after 2018 in that contract. So, hey, it is what it is. And then you have Greinke going to the desert. Hey, I can't blame him, man. They gave him $34 million a year, which, that's $1 million to start, guys. If you're healthy and you pitch every start, $1 million to start.
$1 million a start, baby.
$1 million to start. And look, it was funny because I'm such a nerd. I actually did the math on basically what the Diamondbacks will make, because you figure that a Greinke start will get sold out. I think they fit 57,000 people in the stadium. So look, the owners are still going to make money. And then if you get to the playoffs, the playoffs, I think a team makes an extra, $20 million for a playoff run.
Yep.
So from a financial standpoint, I guess what these owners are doing, look, they're obviously billionaires that have made a lot of money in their life. I guess they know what they're doing. I think Greinke will still be good, but I expect him to get bit by the long ball in Arizona. These are just two moves that I would think that ultimate contenders would make. As that, like I said, the final piece to the puzzle. But both these teams have more work to do. And look, I'm curious to see where the rest of the hot stove goes. But man, it's crazy. And then look, real quick, and then we can get back onto the football. I'm hearing that Johnny Cueto will probably end up in LA. And LA will probably sign another top-line starter since they're not going to have to shell out $300 million or whatever it is now. Hey, let's see what happens. It should be an interesting hot stove, and even crazier, the Mets might actually spend some money.
Oh, good, man. Well, the Mets might, if they can get a couple of more bats, I think they'll be in really good shape, man.
Well, there's that, and I also heard a possibility for a Mets-Cubs trade, and I've heard Jorge Soler's name come up. So, hey, let's see what happens. The other thing that, I don't know if you guys missed the announcement, if you're going to be in Vegas around March Madness time anyway, there is, for the first time ever, the Mets and the Cubs are actually meeting in Vegas to end spring training. So if you're a fan of either of those two teams, might be a good time to get down there.
All right, sounds good. So, Dream, all the baseball talk, can't get away from it, huh? I love baseball, though, Dan. Dan, I really do. I'm all about it, man. I'm all about it. I'm looking forward to the next season and rocking and rolling with it and going from there.
Come on. Even in the hot stove, there is nothing crazier than waking up and seeing some dude just got $250 million.
$250 million, Dream.
No doubt.
What would you do with that kind of money?
Oof.
I'm telling you, though.
Stay far away from a baseball field. I'd
have the dopest season tickets.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I'd buy out the whole area behind home plate and just invite me and all my boys.
Everybody, there you go, man. All right, so guys, we're on Twitter right now at SBTV Nation. Dream, I got to hand it to you. You definitely held the fort down last night with Ralph Cooper on KCOH radio while I was very, very, very under the weather. Got some kind of stomach bug. Don't know what happened to me. It kicked my you-know-what. And, hey, I was just starting to kind of get my juices flowing and getting back finally, man. It's like a 24-hour bug or something like that, Dream. So,
good for you,
hey,
man.
Good for you, and you definitely rocked it over there, and big ups to you on that. I know Ralph had a great time talking to you for about an hour.
Yeah, we had a good time, man. We started talking about movies. We were talking about all kinds of stuff, man. I really like Ralph. Good dude. Love rapping with him. I love that segment. One more time, thank you to Direct Sports Solution definitely for making that happen. And as it's been definitely a great crossover. And you know what? It kicks my Friday night off.
Yeah, right.
You know,
I wonder if they're gonna let us have a showdown in Houston now.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So let's get into it, fellas.
Today's East Coast bias.
Yeah, so today
time to get it popping.
The East Coast bias, Dan. Yeah, exactly. So we are on the verge right now of conference championship day in the college football season. And we're looking at this, and there's one game that starts off. There's 5 ranked teams that are playing today, whether they're playing each other or playing teams that are unranked. And they start at 12 o'clock. And I think since there's only 5 guys, we might as well break them down.
No
because
doubt.
we have it. So,
hey, real quick before I forget, I want to send a big shout out to AZ Wildcat 83 as his team. He plays, I guess, in a some kind of football league. I don't know if it's semi-pro or how it works out there in Arizona, but he's going into his he's got a playoff game today, and his team's going in. So big ups to him and wish him well in that particular tournament that they're involved in today.
All right, fantastic, man. So the first game we have on a ticket is a 12 o'clock start, and we've got 4-7 Texas with Charlie Strong coming into number 12 Baylor. And Baylor is minus 21.5 points in Waco with an under-over of 66.5.
Let me ask you, is that 10 a.m. local?
12 Eastern. That's what I have.
Yeah, 12 Eastern.
Oh, that's 11.
Know,
that's 11 o'clock. That's 11 o'clock local for them.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. So, I guess I'll kick it right off with you, Dan, since you had the question about it, and then we'll go over to the Dream, and then we'll see if I got anything to add to it. Dan, what's your thoughts on number 12 Baylor today?
You know, look. Obviously, that game at TCU. I mean, that was a fun game to watch, and I actually was really high on the third string Baylor quarterback. I thought he looked okay. I can't take 21.5 points. I just can't do it. I think they kill Texas. I really do, but I'm just gonna leave it alone. Just because I'm really confused why they're kicking this game off at 11 a.m. It's never good for college kids.
All right. Dream, what's your thoughts on Baylor today?
Yeah, I like Baylor to win the game. I think they're going to win it pretty decisively. Texas is a bad team. They've had a lot of controversy. They're probably preparing for next year right now. A lot of controversies going on. Lost their AD. You know, they talked about maybe firing Charlie Strong. I think he's done enough to keep his job there with the beat of Oklahoma. But other than that, it's been a mess for the most part. That whole thing's been a mess. Baylor obviously coming off that loss last week to TCU. A little bit ornery, a little bit, upset. And probably going to flex their muscle as they are, Baylor actually is probably a few levels superior than this Texas team. So I see Baylor going pretty much ham today and getting it done. The 21, I don't really have a problem with. I would just drop it down to 20 and make sure it's only 3 touchdowns. I could definitely see Baylor winning this game by 3 touchdowns.
All right, sounds good. I mean, do we still have the third string quarterback Chris Johnson in there?
I
believe so, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, right?
It doesn't matter.
All right, let me just take a look real hard.
And he's good. He's good. I mean, look, you can look at his stats from last game, but that's very tough. Remember, that there was like 30-mile-per-hour winds. It was like a 20-degree wind chill with pouring rain.
Yeah.
So, nobody could throw the ball, but if you see this kid, he has an arm and he has a little bit of escapability. I think you're right, Dream. I'm a little nervous about 21.5. I can see a backdoor cover.
No, it's a lot of points.
Well,
I get it.
Especially the fact that most of your offensive weapons are banged up or just not apparent there, because you got Jarrett Stidham's out for the season for Baylor. Seth Russell, obviously, we know he's out for the season. So they're down to Chris Johnson, their third-string quarterback. Now, Shock Linwood, their running back, is probable for the game, but he's got a little bit of a knee injury. So something to take a look at there. I think Baylor still, though, I think they're very disciplined as far as their offensive game plan is concerned. And I think, a lot of those linemen do a hell of a job, moving and pulling guards and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. I think Baylor will win this game. I just don't know. I think I agree with you with the 21 points. I think if you can get this down somewhere along the lines of maybe like under 2 touchdowns, I think it'll be a better and safer situation, guys, personally. But I just don't know if I'm going to get involved in it.
No, I'm not getting involved in it. I'm just doing a recommendation.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I looked at this game to pair it with like maybe a 10-point tease or something, and I didn't. When I stopped looking at it, I didn't even want to get involved.
Yeah, and guys, listen. You know what? If you're looking at your stats and you're doing your homework and you see that Baylor is the number 1 scoring team in the country and number 1 in total offense, yards per game, and number 1 yards per play and all that stuff, throw that right out the window, because that was with the likes of Seth Russell and Jarrett Stidham as the quarterback position. So, all right, moving on to the next one, guys. We've got number 22, Temple, who is 10-2, going into number 19, Houston. Houston, 11-1, 7-1 in the American. Temple is also 7-1 in the American. This is the American Championship game, and the only game that Houston lost was to UConn, man. Oh, what a travesty that is. Houston minus 5.5 with an under-over of 53.5. Dream.
Yes, sir.
Houston Cougars.
Houston Cougars, brother. Houston Cougars roll today. Greg Ward's that much more healthier, which presents even more of a problem in this particular matchup, especially for the Temple defense. I see it. It's going to be a good game. It's not going to be no blowout on either side. Obviously, I think this is one of the better games of the day as far as the competitiveness of the game. It'll be interesting seeing these two styles clash. The game that I find of note, though, that bothers me about Temple is they lost to USF. And they weren't really able to handle USF speed. They lost that game 44-23. Houston is like a whole nother level of speed compared to USF. Spread you out, get downfield, and we know how dynamic Greg Ward Jr. is. So if Temple is not ready for that, they are going to get blitzkrieged by the Houston Cougars because Houston is definitely brings a they come at you dynamically. They're fast. They're quick. Ward's all over the place. He can run. He can throw. They just keep putting it to you. So Temple has to be very careful in this game and stay focused and hopefully be able to match their speed. If not, they're going to find themselves in an ugly loss. But I see Houston winning this game.
All right. Sounds good. Dan, what's your thoughts on Houston Temple today?
Yeah, I actually see it the same way. I looked at that USF game. But I also looked at the SMU game because SMU, the only thing that SMU has is speed. They don't really have much else, and they put up 40 on them.
Yep.
I know Temple won that game because SMU has no defense, and Temple was able to put up 60 spot. But also Temple on the road has definitely not been as dominant at all. You're talking about they played a close game with East Carolina, who, by the way, just an aside, idiots for firing their coach. He was a good coach. But, they struggle with Cincinnati on the road. Like you said, I think that, the Houston quarterback is that much healthier. They looked really good against a very good Navy team. That Navy team is very good.
Yes, very good.
I think they roll against Temple today. What I'm probably going to do, though, is throw that one maybe in a 7-point tease or a money line parlay. So I'm going to get rid of the points.
All right, sounds good. Now, one thing that I'm looking at here that kind of got me, I think this is going to be a very good tug-of-war chess match or whatever you want to call it here. Houston rushing touchdowns. They average over 3 rushing touchdowns per game, where Temple gives up less than 1 per game. So I think that's going to be a pretty interesting dynamic to take a look at as far as tug-of-war is concerned. So
that's because Ward runs those in.
I know.
Well, it's Ward, and not only that, what I was going to say is they set all those up with passes. And I'd also like to see, I believe Houston gets a lot of PIs against them, which give them, good field position with that 15 yards. And then they're running in from the 2 and the 1.
Yeah.
Even if Temple stops that, they're going to run that play action. They're going to eat them up.
Yeah, I got Houston winning this game, guys.
Yeah.
Houston winning this game, money line situation, no points whatsoever. The next one we have on a ticket here, I'm moving right over to 4 o'clock, the SEC Championship. And we got number 18, Florida, who is still number 18, which shocks me. 10-2 coming into number 2, Alabama. It's actually in the Georgia Dome today. And Alabama minus 17.5 with an under-over of 40. Go ahead, Dream. I know you got to break my balls.
I was glad. I was so glad to do Houston radio without you last night to do this game because I didn't have to hear about the athletic defense and all kinds of stuff about the Gators being dope. And I even sent out a little joke to you about that. Listen, you know what's going to happen in this game. But this is the equivalent. Dan, you said you wanted to do baseball. Just turn on this game and you'll be right back at home again, as this will probably be a 10-3 final. Not much action going to go on here. A bunch of running, playing field position back and forth. Obviously, I think Bama rolls, but I don't think they're going to get it rolling until like the fourth quarter. Probably start off slow, something like, I don't know, like they do 7-3 at the half, and then a couple of touchdowns in the fourth quarter will put this, out of range. But I definitely see Bama rolling. I don't see them having any problem with Florida. Florida tries to play like they do. So, like I said, once again, you're going to have a situation where Bama's going to be able to say, hey, look, this is how we play. So we're going to do our thing.
The under-overs actually jumped up from 38 to 40 points, guys. So what that tells you
I don't really love Bama with the 17.
Okay.
Because Bama would be so content in winning 14-0.
Yeah, right.
But here's my thing. I don't think that Florida will put up a single point on Bama.
Oh, really?
And I think that Bama's defense is going to score.
Why don't you go with a under-over of 10.5 for Florida, Dan?
Yeah, I like that. I talked about that before, too. I like that.
No, I think Bama's going to blow them out.
You think so, huh?
I really think that Bama's defense is going to put Florida in so many bad spots. I mean, look at what Florida State did to them last week.
Yeah.
What is Alabama going to do to them?
I know.
Alabama, they might not pick up more than 50 yards in the first half, if the game. I mean, you're talking about the most inept offense in the country right now, including Vanderbilt, including UConn.
Yes.
Okay? You can't say their offense is any better than those teams.
Nope.
There are Division II teams that you would say, yeah, I would take their offense over that. So I really think that Alabama comes in there. And yeah, Dream, I agree. It might take them a little bit to get rolling. A quarter, maybe even a half. But, they're going to get a pick six. They're going to get a fumble recovery inside the red zone. And, it's just going to steamroll. I mean, I look at what happened with Florida State last week, and I think the same thing's going to happen.
All right, I'm looking at it here. You got the number 5 versus number 2 defenses in all of college football as far as yards per game, guys, facing each other. And that's why the under-over in the first quarter is only 7.5, boys. 7.5. I thought it'd be somewhere along the lines of like 9 or something like that, but it's 7.5, man.
There's a huge difference there. The rankings in college football, I feel like, are enough to throw someone off. Okay. Because if you look at Alabama, they played Georgia when Georgia was supposed to be really good. They were both undefeated at the time.
Yeah.
Their one loss to Ole Miss, their defense, okay, they gave some points. But since then, I mean, you're talking about a team beat the hell out of A&M.
Yep.
You held Arkansas down when their offense, was scoring. LSU. And then you look at Florida. Who has that defense played? And, the loss they had, they give 35 to LSU on the road. Missouri has a bad offense. Ole Miss's offense is okay. Tennessee, Kentucky, it's not the same.
Yep.
So I really like Alabama in this spot.
All right, sounds good. And don't be surprised if it's a little bit of a stomach ache, like a 6-3 affair in like the first half.
I mean, Florida Atlantic scored 2 touchdowns on them.
My feeling is this. My feeling is that it's tight. It's low scoring, maybe for like the first like I said, the first half. Then you start getting into the third quarter, and Florida's defense is on the field most of the game. And then Derrick Henry will start running them down and running them down. The offensive line is going to start pushing them around a little bit. Before you know it, Alabama's up 17 by the end of the third quarter. And then you're sitting there stomach aching the game if you did the 17 and a half saying, oh, okay, well, and you're going to look at your live line. It's going to be exactly the same as it is right now. It's 17 and a half. So I don't know. You know what? With the points, I think if you get Alabama down to under 10, I think you'd be in pretty good shape. But tough. It's tough here because if the Florida defense scores a touchdown, you're in trouble. So
a kickoff return, a defensive touchdown, any accident.
Right.
Yeah, but that
is
is
any accident.
That is not a Nick Saban thing to happen. And here's the other thing. I mean.
Yeah, but Nick Saban's not on the
that's
field.
Not. I know he's not on the field, man.
That's not. Nobody plans on having turnovers.
No, but I'm talking about the ultimate in preparation. I'm talking about the ultimate in preparation, and not only that, but there's a lot of talk that if Alabama wins big, they'll actually be number one.
Well,
even if Clemson wins.
Well, because I don't think Clemson is going to win huge. But we'll have that conversation.
Yeah, we'll have that conversation. But so I mean, you're talking about a coach, a coach that's been there before, players that have been there before, the best running back in the league. And look, Florida's good against the run, but they're number 7. They're not number 1. Who's number 1? Alabama.
Right, exactly.
So, Florida still allows over 110 yards per game on the ground. So, and that's against those other bum running backs, because compared to Derrick Henry, pretty much everyone's a bum.
All right. Sounds good, guys. Well, so, yeah, I like it under 10.5. I think that's got me a little comfortable in that particular situation. Next one we got on the ticket is number 20, USC in the Pac-12 championship, going into Santa Clara, California, and playing at Levi Stadium at where the 49ers play versus number 7, Stanford. Stanford 10-2, Stanford -4 with an under-over of 58.5 points. Probably going to have an exactly divided 50-50 fan base here, guys. I'll start with you, Dream. What's your thoughts on USC versus Stanford?
By the way, it's going to be Stanford heavy.
You think so, huh?
Well, Stanford's right by San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
And USC's down in LA. It's a huge, it's a big time trip.
Well, I think
kids will be there.
Don't they give equal tickets to the schools though?
Possibly, but think about how many Stanford alum you have in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Got it.
So.
Dream, what's your thoughts here?
I like Stanford to roll in this game. Obviously, Stanford already beat USC in USC.
Yes.
They're a much better team now. I think that, they're still on the outside looking in, and with a little bit of help, they may be having hopes of trying to get in the playoffs, even though I don't see it happening. But they got to go out and play like it could happen for them. So that being said, I expect them to roll in this game. I don't think they should have any problems with USC, especially defensively. USC just is not that good this year. Stanford should be able to move the ball all over the field with them. I really see Hogan having a big day against the USC defense. I think I like Stanford to win this game.
I like Stanford to win the game.
As far as the 4.5, I'd move it down 2 points. Buy it down. If you get it down 2 points and get it to the 2.5, just under a field goal, you'll be safe. If you want to money line it, put it in a parlay or a teaser situation, obviously that's just as positive.
Got it. Dan, thoughts?
I have the same thoughts. The only thing that concerns me here is, they beat them in USC, and this is basically a home game for Stanford. I just get nervous in revenge situations where they've already played each other once. And again, that was Sarkisian that was coaching back then, so he was probably hammered.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm going to stay away from this game. I think it'll be good to watch. But like I said, I think Stanford does win the game. But I just get concerned in these type of situations.
All right, sounds good. One thing I do notice with Stanford is they know how to control the clock, and they're actually they're the top offense and defense in the league as far as that's concerned. So, looking at this particular game, I think Stanford does win this game. I think Stanford is just a touch above USC. I just don't know if it's going to be tight or they'll win by 10 or more, man. I'm kind of scratching my head here, so I'm looking at another money line situation, guys. That's what I'm looking at here for this particular game. So that's pretty much it. Any other thoughts from you two on this before we get into the Big Ten?
No, except, they are playing on the 49ers field, so you could see some really bad football.
Okay.
Just because, hey, you don't want to channel the ghost of, like, Colin Kaepernick.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Hey, guys, we're on Twitter right now at SBTV Nation. A lot of people out there retweeting our show, and we appreciate you doing that for us. The next one is at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time start at Lucas Oil Stadium. It's the Big Ten Championship, man. You got number 5, Michigan State, who is 11-1 versus undefeated Iowa. And Michigan State is minus 3.5 with an under-over of 51 points. I could tell you guys, I looked at the stats, and this is like a very, very, very close situation as far as on paper is concerned. Dan, I'll start with you. What's your thoughts on Sparty and the Iowa Hawkeyes?
Oh man, this is going to be a hell of a game, and it's inside, which I don't really like. I feel like both these teams play outside. I would much rather see this, in like Soldier Field or something like that. But it is what it is. I like Iowa. I think that this is just their year. I just haven't liked Michigan State all year, and I guess my eyes and my brain just aren't catching up. But, I mean, this is the same Michigan State team that did lose to Nebraska.
Yep.
They did not look impressive beating Maryland. They blew out Penn State at home last week. The only thing that concerns me is that this game's inside. I think Michigan State has a little more speed than them.
Okay.
And if you're on that, you're on that turf inside and you start airing the ball out, maybe they catch Iowa. But, look, Iowa with the points here.
Iowa with the points. Dream.
Yes, sir.
Nasty Iowa.
That's my team, brother.
That's
I've been following them all season. I like Iowa to win this game. I don't really have a problem with them inside. I think they'll be able to contain Michigan State's speed. Michigan State's offense, very inconsistent for the majority of the season.
Very.
And very up and down throughout the game, throughout the games that they've played. Like you have that lapse where it seems like offensively they can't get in any rhythm. Yep. If they do that against Iowa, they'll fall down probably 2 scores, I would say. Because Iowa kind of goes about their business very consistently the same way week to week. They're both good on both sides of the ball. They're good offensively and they're good defensively. I see Iowa winning this game. It'll probably be a little tight, it'll probably be tight because Iowa probably a little bit nervous. I mean, there's a lot over their heads. Obviously, they got to want to make the playoff things. So the things are in the kids' heads and they'll be a little tight, not wanting to make mistakes. So they got to get them to loosen up and go out there and have some fun. But I see Iowa winning this game.
All right. I'm looking at this. Are you guys at all worried about the, what's the word I'm looking for? The experience factor as far as a big game with Iowa? Dream?
No.
Not at all, huh?
No.
Really?
Coaching-wise, maybe.
All right.
Coaching-wise, maybe, but, yeah, like you guys said, the coach isn't on the field, and I think Iowa's prepped well all year. I think, look, kids are kids. If this was an NFL team and, you got guys that have been on the team for 10 years, yeah, that makes a difference. But, you're talking about, what, maybe someone's like a fifth-year senior?
Yep.
And that can make a difference, but not a lot of guys.
Okay.
And, I think that Iowa's obviously, they played big games all year in conference, and they are undefeated. I think they're going to have a big chip on their shoulder as well.
Okay.
I mean, they're +4.
Plus
so
4.
if I was the coach, I'd be like, guys, they think not only are you going to lose, but, you're not even the better team. You're undefeated. They're 1 loss. I would have a chip on my shoulder.
All right. I'm looking at this, and I think Michigan State has had a harder schedule than Iowa, though, to a certain extent. So, yeah, look at it.
You're probably right.
Yeah, look at it. I mean,
the Oregon game, the Air Force game ended up being tough.
Yeah, because you're looking at a tale of a tape here where these two teams are very similar on paper.
Yeah, but, you're still talking about an Iowa team that out of conference, let me see, they played Pitt. Pitt's a very good team.
I don't know about that.
Look at who Pitt's lost to.
Okay.
Pitt's lost to, like, the best teams in the country.
Yeah, I got
That's
it. Okay.
all Pitt's lost to.
All right.
I mean, look, I know they had that close one. Wisconsin kind of is garbage. But wasn't Northwestern undefeated at the time when they went in there and killed them? Or they beat them 40-10. Weren't they both undefeated at the time? And everybody was talking about how Northwestern was going to be the one to knock them off.
Yeah, got it.
And then they went in there and bludgeoned them. So I see what you're saying. I mean, Michigan State, their schedule's been a little better.
You know what, guys? I got to go against both of you. I think Sparty wins this game. I think they win the game. I think they've had. I just think that they have the momentum right now. Obviously,
that's dope.
Iowa.
I know you're loving that with me, Dream.
Thank you for that.
Well, what I'm actually doing is I'm putting 7 points on Iowa.
I don't mind that, Dan. That's a different package than taking.
Right.
Yeah,
but
I don't mind that.
I think Iowa covers the +4. I'm not taking a money line at the 157.
Okay.
I could see this being a field goal game. But what I'm saying, I do like Iowa. I think Iowa plays a very good game. Look, like I said, I think because of the turf and certain things, I think Sparty will be able to score a little bit. But I think it's going to be close. But I'm going to add 7 points to that. And a game that we're not really going into, but I'm going to add 7 points to Air Force.
Okay.
And pair those up.
The
thing with this game is Michigan State, you're stuck thinking this is Michigan State from last year. And I was stuck there too till about maybe their 5th game. It's not the same team. And they don't play the same way. Their defense is not as good as that team was. They're not going to be able to stop. I mean, they're going to slow down Iowa a bit, but they're not. This team has been too inconsistent with me, even in their wins against teams that they should look vastly superior in. It's been, not all that. So I know what you're saying, and I know what you think, or you're feeling off of the hat, because you mentioned the experience thing, and you mentioned you still thinking a little bit of last year. I think in the back of your mind, and you still won't buy into this Iowa team. I'm telling you, this is a good football team.
All right. I mean, I did watch them last week. I was pretty impressed with them last week. But, I mean, just look at this. I mean, this is how close these teams are, man. Offensively.
Oh, no, I know.
Iowa number 63 and Michigan State number 68. Defensively, Iowa number 21, Michigan State number 27. I mean, they're right there.
Well, but that's why you've got to take Iowa with the points.
Yeah, but Michigan State has had a harder schedule. So it's
but I'm saying if you're a points player, not a money line player, right?
Yeah, I get it. I understand.
I don't agree Michigan State's had a hard because they played Ohio State. That's really your only thing.
All right. Well, we'll move on and keep it going from there. But for the most part, I think Michigan State wins the game. There's a reason why they're favored, guys. I'm just gonna say it. So, hey, I wish you guys the best of luck, man. Maybe you guys win with the +4. I'm gonna do Michigan State with a money line.
I think you said that last week against Iowa, didn't you?
I have Iowa last week. No, wait, I did not have Iowa last week.
No. But you did that. There's a reason why they're favored last week against Nebraska. You did.
Yeah, they were favored versus Nebraska. I don't remember, dude. I think they were they were like -2.5 or something like that in that particular game. But next one we have on a ticket is the final collegiate football conference championship that we're going to talk about, and that's the ACC championship at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. You got number 10 North Carolina facing number 1 Clemson. North Carolina with 1 loss versus South Carolina, which got me scratching my head. And we got a team that almost lost to South Carolina, being Clemson, who is 12-0. And Clemson, this line is all the way down to 4.5. I saw some 6s earlier in the week. I saw some 6.5s, and now it's down to 4.5. There must be some Dream. There must be some sharp money coming.
Sharp money moving a lot.
Dream, I'm going to start with you. North Carolina and Clemson. What's your thoughts?
Dude, I'm going against the grain here. I got 2 underdogs on my plate today, and you guys know I'm not a dog guy. But Iowa, I've rode all season. I don't really consider them an underdog, but I'm taking Iowa. And I hate to say this, I'm taking North Carolina.
Oh, plus the 4.5.
North Carolina. There's something about this team that I just like and I believe in, and I just am not impressed with Clemson in big games. I shouldn't even say big spots. I should say I haven't really been impressed with them most of this season. Yeah, I know they blew out booty opponents, but there was, first of all, how you only barely beat South Carolina last week, that is a huge flag for me.
Yeah.
That's a huge red flag. I don't get that at all. South Carolina lost to Citadel.
I know, man.
Okay?
Well, you had the rivalry thing and the whole package going
The
on
rivalry
there.
thing, my behind. You don't listen. I don't know how you struggled with South Carolina last week, and you're the number 1 team in the country. That's a rough spot right there for them. I don't really get that. Then you give up 27 to Syracuse, only beat the Cuse by 10 points. I mean, there's a couple of like eyebrow raising games, and the one I put a lot of stock into is, I swear Florida State had more offense. Florida State would have won that game. And North Carolina has more offense. So I'm gonna lay my hat, and this is more of a heart pick, or you could say instinctual. But I am gonna take North Carolina in this particular matchup. I'm also thinking about probably doing a North Carolina, Iowa tease. Where I get both of them with a bunch of points. Well, we'll do like a 7-pointer and have them both with a bunch of points. But I'm going to roll with North Carolina in this spot. I really believe you said that you talked about momentum. You talked about them, coming into this game. I think they're going to be souped up. I think they're going to be ready for this game. I like North Carolina. I'm going to take North Carolina in the points.
Dan, what's your thoughts?
Money line, North Carolina.
Oh.
God.
Is that the kiss of death?
Why you do it to me, man?
Money line. Here's why. Here's why.
Scott likes Clemson, and we all
I got no issue with Scotty. I like Scotty.
No, I got no issue with him either. No, that's my boy.
Of course. It's not that, and I don't wish a heart attack upon him. But what I really like about this North Carolina team, and look, they've made me money all year.
Yes.
All year. Is they have what I like to call the blitzkrieg offense.
Okay.
They come out in the first quarter, they're ready to go. They punch you in the mouth, and you spend the rest of the game trying to come back up at them.
Yep.
Look, I know they lost their first game of the year. I mean, and it was a close one, South Carolina, at South Carolina, okay. That's not good. But they've won out, and they've beaten very good teams, and they've beaten them bad. And remember, guys, this game is in Charlotte. This is North Carolina. I know Clemson will travel their students, but I got to think that this game is packed with Tar Heels fans. Because, look, think about how much, North Carolina basketball travels their guys. And, you get that crossover when you have a very good football team. So Clemson's going to be in a spot in a championship game where they might not be the rooting interest on the field. And I don't know how kids react to that. I really like North Carolina here. I think they come out fast and hard and hang on to win at the end.
I think both of you guys are wrong again. I think Clemson wins this game, guys. Sorry to say it to you. But I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at North Carolina's schedule. They have not played a team with the likes of Clemson's defense. You got to remember that, man. I mean, look, Virginia, Pittsburgh, the Dukies, the U, Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, Delaware, North Carolina AT&T, 2 FCS teams on the schedule. I don't know. I just think that, you know what, because North Carolina's used to, coming out and scoring a lot of points, and that's how they're winning their games. I just don't know if they're going to be able to do that versus Clemson's defense. I think Clemson wins the game. I think they win and cover their spread.
I don't know. I mean, Clemson, I can kind of see where you're coming from, but
Yep.
like Dream said, you're talking about a team that struggled at Cuse. Wake Forest, I mean, yeah, they won 33-13, but it wasn't impressive. And that was at home. And at South Carolina, I mean, they probably should have lost that game. I just think that I don't think Clemson has faced a team like North Carolina's offense.
All right, my man B's Knees is telling me there's going to be more Clemson fans in the stadium. That's what he
Yeah,
thinks.
I would think that there'll be, as far as that's concerned, I don't know if there'll be any more of either fan, but I don't think it'll be any drastic numbers on either side. You know what I mean? It'll be pretty even for the most part. I do think you'll have a little bit more North Carolina fans than Clemson fans, but not much.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Well, either way, I think it's going to be a hell of a game, guys. I think it's going to be something to definitely watch. You know what just sucks is that they put all these games on at the same time. What the hell are they thinking?
Well, they want the Nash. I know they want that time slot.
That's stupid, though.
I agree.
That's
I agree,
stupid.
but my thing is, if you put it on at 3:00, they're probably thinking nobody's going to watch it.
Well, yeah, it's because the holiday season thing.
Yeah.
They keep People watch early and watch late.
I think that's it's absolutely
terrible
scheduling.
Unlike the NFL, the NFL definitely schedules to the gambling public.
Okay.
It's true. Like, if you look at how the NFL schedules, they try.
I disagree with that because there'd be more 4 o'clock games. They would spread the 4 o'clock games out better. They give you the blitzkrieg of 8 games at 1 o'clock, and then they'll give you 3 to 2 games at 4 o'clock. If they were working with gambling, which they're against because they're like the biggest proponent who don't want.
They say they're against, but they know that it brings them so much revenue. I mean, they're $12 billion. No, the revenue comes because if you look at like how many people, like it was advertised that like DraftKings and FanDuel added to NFL viewership, right? It added like a 10% chunk of change. So the NFL getting 10% more viewership, that's like $5 billion in advertising revenue right there. They love it. They just know that they can come out against it. They're the biggest hypocrites in the world.
Yes.
Yeah, if they wanted more money spent on their games, they definitely would spread them out better. They definitely put more games on it for them.
Yeah, I think they're trying to, which is why they want a game in London every week. They want the 9:30, they want the 1 o'clock, they want the 4 o'clock. Look, the NFL has you wrapped up all day, is what I'm saying.
But that London game, that's not appealing to kids. Because, dude,
that's dusty.
Cats on the West Coast are not. I mean, if they're putting it in the night before, and I know the diehard gambler is,
and
but
that's what they're doing.
I remember when we were in Vegas, I was missing the early college hoop games and not gambling on them, games that I lost money because I had dead right.
You guys calling me degenerate because I was putting them in the night before.
But I had forgot, so I'm losing my. And I'm saying, I mean, obviously you can always depend on that diehard, but they don't want the diehard. They want all the money. So that game's got to be costing them from a gambling standpoint. I would say that's probably the least gambled game.
I don't know though, because remember what they said. By just the broadcast rights to that game was $20 million to stream that London game. Yeah. So, I mean, they definitely got viewership, or else I don't know if you're going to pay $20 million for the rights to it.
Got it.
But, that being said, I mean, I do think with the NCAA, regardless, what they're doing is stupid. I'd much rather have one of these games kick off at like 9 o'clock or 9:30. I mean, it's Saturday night. I ain't got nowhere to be tomorrow.
Got it. All right, guys. So as far as the collegiate slate, Dan, do you have any junkie plays that you're getting on?
Yeah, well, I'm including them in a 10-point tease. So
Dan's
what I really
the Citadel.
The Citadel. No, these actually aren't that junky, guys. I really like West Virginia today.
Okay.
But what I'm doing is, so I'm pairing Iowa. So I got a 3-team 7-point tease. Iowa up to plus 11. West Virginia up to plus 1.5. And then I'm going to take the Air Force up to plus 13.5.
Okay.
So, hey, the Air Force has been a good team, and it's not crazy junky. I don't know about the Citadel. You can do what you want with that.
All right. Sounds good. Dream.
Yes, sir.
Any other college football games before we get into
No, that's it for me, Blair.
That's
today.
it, right?
Real easy, light card. Not going to have a lot going on with it. Because we get ready for about to be, the bowl season is about to kick up, and it's going to be heavy then. So we're going to go easy. And guys, obviously the numbers aren't going to be heavy because, a couple of mistakes by any of these teams,
right,
and the other team goes ham.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And kids can be kids, you know what I mean? So keep that in mind. We've seen it a lot of times. You expect to see a good game, kids come out, all of a sudden you get 2 fumbles, and next thing you know, it's a blowout. So, keep that in mind when you're doing this. Go kind of easy. I mean, I think it's a nice spot for a few situations, but definitely keep in mind that the landscape can change drastically in a few minutes with these games.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. We're doing the bowl challenge again, boys?
Yeah,
yes,
of course.
For sure.
Of course, since you are the heavyweight champion of that, Dan.
Oh, yeah.
In case you guys don't know the history of the SBTV Bowl Challenge. So, I was doing pretty damn well. I had to lead pretty much the second half of it. And then Dan, out of nowhere, with his last few dollars.
So just to
break
it down, we all started with 500. I think, Hatter, you were up to 1,200. I think, Dream, you had Oregon, and if you won, you would have won.
Right.
So, and I was down to my last 100 because I had gotten beat up a couple of the bowl games before that. So I decided, because we said any bet plays. So I took the adjusted line Ohio State minus 21 and won the whole damn thing.
Yeah, man, crushed it.
Well, I put my whole hat ended up lose. I remember you started out money, but ended up losing. I
didn't lose. I was up. I think
no. I mean, not losing, but I'm saying I had the lead going into the Oregon game.
Okay.
If as I remember, I might be wrong, but I thought I had the lead, not by much. But we all the money had dwindled by the Oregon game, like it was
like it was with all of us. We all started off hot fire. I mean,
I was dusty. No, I didn't start on fire. Yeah, I was.
Maybe it was me and you, Hatter, because I remember that it was like the end. It was like the last 4 bowl games of the year. I was like on fire, and then I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah. Hat, as I remember it, Hat came out the gate hard. And then caught some losses, but I want to say at the end we were, and I lost and then got it back up. At the end, I want to say I had like 400, Hat had like 300, and you had your last 100.
That's totally wrong.
Oh, it is.
And I know Hatter's got the Excel sheet back and all to prove it.
That's not true.
Do you got it, Hat?
I don't have it in front of me, but I don't want to embarrass you by pulling it up, Dream.
No, go ahead. Yeah, you're gonna embarrass me. I would like to remember how it was. I'm trying to remember it, but I remember that I remember at that week before Oregon, I was like in the best spot because I remember being like all happy about it.
Yeah. All right, we'll pull it back up because I think we had a hashtag for that, right?
Yes, we did.
What was it? The SBTV 500 or something like that?
I think so. Yeah,
the
something like
SBTV 500.
500. Yeah.
Hashtag SBTV. Yeah, because all our plays were documented. You guys can go back and look. Go back and look.
We got to document it for Sloppy.
Yeah,
Sloppy,
Dream Oregon Ducks.
Baby.
Oh, Dream. You know. You know what? Good. Just hashtag SBTV 500, and then you can.
What happened?
I remember because I was playing blackjack.
No, I lost it all on the.
Here's where it was before the January 3rd, and this was going into the final game. Hatter $666, Dream $459, Evil Genius $121, and then Evil Genius went crazy with the Ohio State wins by 18 to 21 points plus 2,500, and you won that game. And Dream goes Oregon Ducks the whole bankroll.
Yeah. No, I know. I remember doing that.
Yeah. All right, guys. So any other sports, anything else that's on your radar as far as the sports world is concerned to get involved in? Because there's a lot going on.
I got 2 things on the college hardwood, which we've actually been killing the NBA and the college game. Rhode Island at home today, -2 against Providence. Really good. I like URI today. And then the Zags, Gonzaga. I'm looking. There's a lot of college hoop on today, guys, to intermix with this. The Zags, I know they're -7. I'm trying to pull the game up. Home against Arizona. I think they've been playing really good hoop, and I think they cover that pretty easily. So if you want to get on that, those are good ones.
All right.
And Air Force also on the hardwood. Air Force +4.5 at Denver. That's kind of junky, but I like Air Force today.
All right. Dream.
Oh, we didn't talk about West Virginia, the West Virginia game.
Well, Dan's on it. Dan's on it, right?
Oh, yeah. I am.
Yeah, and you like West Virginia?
I like West Virginia. They're a team kind of like Pitt, where if you look at their schedule and you look, they're 7-4, but their losses were at Oklahoma, OK State, Baylor, and TCU, and both those teams were healthy.
Yeah, right.
Those are their only losses. This is a team, obviously Kansas is absolutely terrible, 49-0. Home against Iowa State, 30-6 last week. I think they have no problem with K-State. Like I said, I have them included in a teaser up to +1.5. But I like West Virginia and their offense to get it done.
Yeah, I like West Virginia today as well, and I might get involved in that particular matchup. Definitely in a teaser. I might do something under the realms of West Virginia, Iowa, and West Virginia, Iowa, and North Carolina.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
not bad.
That's good. I mean, this Air Force game, maybe I know we're not really breaking it down a lot, but I mean, I got it up to +13.5, guys. But why is Air Force +6.5?
It's a very good question. I guess San Diego State is pretty good.
I mean, they're 9-3, but if you look at who they played, Air Force had a harder out-of-conference schedule. I mean, I think San Diego State lost like Georgia or South Alabama.
Got it.
South Alabama. So, I don't know. Look, that's why I'm on Air Force. I got a plus 13.5, but I think I would take them even at plus 6.5.
All right, one thing I want to talk about, guys, before we get off the air is a big NBA game tonight. And Dream, I know you're going to be wanting to talk about this one.
No doubt.
Miami Heat are -2 with the Cleveland Cavs coming into town.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland has lost 2 straight games, and I got to be honest with you, man. I watched the game last night front to back, and I was kind of disappointed with Cleveland's game.
That's what made you puke, kid.
Oh, I know.
Watching Cleveland lately will make you sick.
It seemed like my boy in the fourth quarter wanted to score 21 points and have this, game face on, but it's only like he wants to do that in the fourth quarter. And then it's like, he just hogged the ball the whole time. And then he wanted to start getting people involved at the end when he started missing shots. And that kind of got under my skin a little bit because Kevin Love is just sitting there doing nothing. You had Dellavedova hitting a couple of shots, and you had Mo Williams on the bench, Stream.
Yeah, little Mo. I didn't like the way he played last night, though. So I think I didn't have a problem with him on the bench.
He was pretty good. He was hitting some shots.
I watched most of that game of the third. Well, I watched the end, the third and fourth quarter. I didn't watch the first half, but in the third quarter, he did a move. It was something he did that bothered me, and I was like, "What is he doing?" You know what I mean? But I saw them last night. Bad time for them to be coming into the Heat, because the Heat are.
Yeah, and the Heat are definitely going to want to beat them. That's for sure.
It's going to be a good game. I obviously like Miami Heat tonight, but I wouldn't gamble on that game. It's not a game to be betting on.
No, definitely not.
What I kind of like to do with it though is I know you guys don't like the hardwood teasers. I know it's not really your thing, but I got the Knicks, Cavs, and Warriors in a 7-pointer. So the Knicks are at Milwaukee, -2. So I got them up to +5.
Yep.
The Cavs up to +9, and Golden State at -1.
Golden State 20-0, making it 21-0, trying to do it tonight.
I think they do it. I know they're at Toronto. Toronto's not a very good team. They're not going to be the one to knock them off. And you got to. All they have to do is win. It's not like you're not looking for. It's a 1 point.
Yep.
Did you just say Toronto's not a very good team?
I don't think Toronto. Not a team that's going to beat Golden State.
Yeah, they're not beating Golden State, I don't think, Dream. I think he's right about that.
Toronto is capable of beating Golden State. I mean, they probably won't. I'm in agreement.
Somebody's going to beat them on this
Toronto
road trip.
is. I don't.
They've lost their last 2 home games to the Nuggets and the Suns.
All right. Is the Heat a good team?
Of course.
They're a mediocre team.
Okay. Are the Bulls a good team?
I don't think the Bulls are a great team.
Okay. Are the Spurs a good team?
I think the Spurs are a very good team.
All right, because the Raptors are 12-8. All right, so I mean, outside of Golden State and the Cavs, the Raptors got the third best record, the fourth.
I know,
best
but
record.
if you look, they had an impressive win at home against the Cavs. I don't like the Wizards team they beat. Like I said, they've lost 2 out of 3. I look at what you've done for me lately, and those 2 losing at home to the Nuggets is almost reprehensible right now.
Yeah.
Losing at home to the Suns? Come on. And now you got Golden State coming in?
Suns aren't bad.
This
Suns aren't bad, but
you know what?
If you're a good team, you beat them at home.
This is a bad spot for Golden State.
I agree. I think this
is a dangerous spot right here. I could see Golden State losing this game. I'll be honest with you.
You got Golden State has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in a row as far as a road trip is concerned. And Utah Jazz were all up in their ass the other night. And they managed to squeak out a win and get the job done. But they got to go at Toronto. Then, obviously, the Brooklyn Nets, where they should win handily. But then they got to go to Indiana Pacers. So
Pacers is where I think they might get tripped up.
All right. And they got a target on their back right now, guys.
Of course.
You want to be the team to knock them off.
I expect Toronto to play them tough.
All right. Sounds good.
Light play on that teaser.
All right, cool deal, man. So, anything else, Dan, Dream, any of you guys on the ticket that you want to talk about?
Not really. I know there's some NHL. I don't know if you're feeling anything, Dream. I mean, the Blues kind of look good, but it's heavy juice. I don't know.
The Blues look real good.
Yeah, the Blues.
It is heavy juice.
Maybe you pair the Blues and the Wild?
I was just getting ready to say that. I like the Wild, too, with that Avalanche team. I love the Wild tonight, especially against the Avalanche, because the Wild's game, the style of play, suits them against that Avalanche team. I do like the Wild tonight. That's a very good one. I probably am going to actually be on that. I like the Wild, the Blues. That's about it for hockey.
Blues losers of 2 straight games. And just lost to the Isles last night.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. All right, sounds good, guys. So that's pretty much going to do it for the show. I got a very busy day. I got to get caught up from yesterday, man, because I just missed so much time with work and everything else. So, hey, great show, fellas.
No
great
doubt.
show. So what we're going to do is do a little recap. We'll start with Dan. We'll see what you got going on. Then we'll go over to the Dream, and then we'll go to myself, and then we will close this thing out. So, Dan, what's your thoughts? Who you taking today?
All right, so we are going to do that very light tease. I mean, we're talking maybe a half unit.
Yeah, got it.
Golden State -1, the Cavs +9, and the Knicks +5. We're going to go UNC football money line. And then we have the 7-point tease, Air Force +13.5, Iowa +11, West Virginia +1.5, and I believe I will go with that NHL. I'm going to go St. Louis Blues and play it with the Wild, the parlay.
All right, sounds good. Dream.
Yes, sir.
What do you want today, brother?
Haven't really put it together yet, but it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of Iowa, North Carolina, and probably I'm thinking about adding West Virginia to that, a 3-team tease, college football. I'll probably go in that direction. I got to go and figure it out. I might want to get financially. I might want to remove. I might want to get North Carolina out of that mix, just to be on the safe side. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to do it, but that's generally where I'm at. I also love the Minnesota Wild. The Blues, I'm still on the edge with. I'll have to go look at that, do a little bit more homework. But obviously, I like the Blues and I like the Minnesota Wild as well. We didn't even talk about college basketball, guys.
Oh, sorry, I do have plays now. Remember, we got Gonzaga -7.
Yep, just running down.
It was Gonzaga -7, and then hold on, I'm trying to go back. I have a plethora of plays today.
Junkies. Why don't you tweet them out?
Gonzaga's a good team. Oh, sorry, Gonzaga, and then we got Air Force. So Gonzaga at Arizona -7. Air Force +4. It's up to +4 now at Denver. So we're gonna roll there for college hoop, and URI -2.
I got the ultimate junkie play for you. Go get some Mercer Madness.
Yes,
today
Mercer
Madness.
Madness.
State.
It's my
Alcorn
team.
State is absolutely dreadful.
Yes.
Go grab yourself some Mercer Madness.
No, I'm gonna get.
How about Michigan State -31 at Bingham, home against Binghamton?
I'm getting Yale at home tonight, baby.
Get some Yale in the house. All right, so that's where I'm at. I'll DM you guys up a little bit later and let you know exactly what's going on once I figure out how I'm going to put this thing together. I want to thank everybody that's out there retweeting the show. We got Jay Gotts, Terrence Mack, It Be Easy's out there, Immaculate, my man Swervin' Irvin. What's going on, Playboy? KMVU, Fast Eddie 72, G Rose, Stoopy Bets, my boy BT, MC Money. This week's Freaky Friday winners in the house. Vegas Jack's out there. The OJFB is in the house as always. JC, Tip Talker, Nicholas J, SD Grind, Jim Rome is a douche, Benjamin Rose, Sin City Maverick, Long Woo, Angelo Nunez, Jay Snyder, AB Lent, Sir Mata, Lone Star Hombre, Mario Martinez, Wayne Yarbrough, Vegas Girl 92661, LA WizKid, and Spot Bet, just to name a few. Guys, as always, I am the Dream. Always remember who you at. Make the most of each and every day and go easy with these plays today. Don't get caught up and get a lot of money out there. Just go very easy.
Yeah, right, because anything can happen today.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen any day, Dream.
No doubt.
So,
but today is there a couple of the matchups are a lot closer and tighter probably than we've alluded to.
Absolutely, guys. All right, so as far as your boy is concerned, I am looking at, I hate to say it, but in the college football, all the favorites today. I don't have any upsets happening today. I like, obviously.
We know how that goes.
Yeah, I like Alabama to win. I like Baylor to win, obviously. I mean, we talked about it earlier. A lot of points there, so you got to do what you got to do with those. I like Clemson to win. I like Houston to win. I like Michigan State to win. And I like Stanford to win, man. So, do whatever the hell you want to do. Do your own homework, as I say, man. We're not handicappers. We're just a couple of guys just sharing our plays with you. We love you to death. Go out there. Go easy. Do your own homework.
Figure out what we are.
Yeah. In case you don't know what we are, that's what we are. We love you to death. Go easy. Do your own homework. Get involved with all your own plays and get that money. Let's go.
Peace.